The dense forest of the Land of Fire was eerily silent, the usual chirping of birds absent as if nature itself sensed danger lurking. Naruto Uzumaki, the orange-clad ninja with unruly blonde hair, crouched low on a thick tree branch, his cerulean eyes scanning the shadows below. He had been tracking strange chakra signatures for hours, something unnatural, something cursed. His whisker-marked cheeks tightened as he gritted his teeth. This isn't just some random missing nin, he muttered to himself, gripping a kunai tighter. This feels wrong. Across the clearing, hidden within the twisted roots of an ancient oak, a figure cloaked in tattered robes observed Naruto with hollow, sunken eyes. His name was Kurotsuchi, a rogue puppetmaster exiled from the hidden sand village for delving into forbidden jutsu. His fingers, wrapped in decaying bandages, twitched as he manipulated invisible strings of chakra. At his feet lay a grotesque puppet, its wooden body carved with cursed seals, its hollow eyes glowing a sickly green. The Nine-Tails vessel, Kurotsuchi rasped, his voice like dry leaves scraping against stone. Perfect. Your life force will feed my masterpiece. Naruto's instinct screamed as the air thickened with malice. Before he could react, the ground beneath him erupted as the cursed puppet lunged, its jagged claws slashing through the air. Naruto barely dodged, flipping backward as the puppet's strike cleaved the tree trunk in half. What the hell is that thing? He exclaimed, landing in a defensive stance. The puppet didn't pause, it twisted mid-air, its joints bending unnaturally as it lashed out again, this time with a barrage of poisoned needles firing from its mouth. Naruto's hands blurred into seals. Wind style, gale palm. A gust of wind deflected the needles, embedding them into the surrounding trees, which immediately withered and blackened. Poison, huh? Not bad, Naruto taunted, but his smirk faded as the puppet's chest split open, revealing a spinning array of serrated blades. Kurotsuchi chuckled darkly from the shadows, his fingers dancing like a spider weaving its web. You're quick, boy, but my puppet knows no fatigue, no pain. It will grind you down until there's nothing left. The puppet lunged again, its movements erratic yet precise, a deadly dance of slicing steel and snapping jaws. Naruto ducked under a horizontal slash, countering with a spinning kick that sent the puppet skidding back, but it recovered instantly, its cursed seals flaring as its speed doubled. A claw grazed Naruto's arm, drawing blood that sizzled against the puppet's cursed coating. Damn it, Naruto hissed, feeling the poison seeping into his veins. His vision blurred for a moment, but he shook it off, channeling Kurama's chakra. Red energy flared around him as his whisker marks darkened. All right, no more holding back. The puppet charged once more, but this time, Naruto was faster. He sidestepped, landing a devastating uppercut infused with fox chakra, sending the puppet crashing through 3 trees. Wood splintered, but the abomination reassembled itself mid-air, its broken limbs stitching back together with writhing tendrils of cursed energy. Kurotsuchi's laughter echoed. Fool! My puppet is bound by a death curse, destroying its body means nothing. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Then I'll just have to take out the guy pulling the strings. He vanished in a blur of speed, appearing behind Kurotsuchi with a Rasengan forming in his palm. But the puppetmaster smirked. Predictable. A second puppet, hidden beneath the earth, erupted beneath Naruto, its maw opening to reveal a swirling vortex of dark chakra. Naruto barely twisted away, but the vortex grazed him, sapping his energy. He gasped, feeling heavier, slower. Kurotsuchi rose, his robes fluttering as he revealed a third puppet, this one fused with his own body, its wooden limbs replacing his right arm. You're strong, Jinchuriki, but strength alone won't break a curse woven with hatred. The 2 puppets flanked Naruto, their movements synchronized, their attacks relentless. Naruto panted, sweat mixing with blood, but his grin returned. Hey! You talk too much. Golden chakra erupted around him as he entered Nine-Tails chakra mode, his aura burning away the poison and fatigue. Let's see how your puppets handle this. The battle reignited, faster and fiercer than before, Naruto a golden streak, the puppets shadows of death. The forest trembled as fists clashed against cursed wood, as wind and dark chakra collided in explosions of force. Kurotsuchi's confidence wavered. Impossible. How? Naruto's voice cut through the chaos, unwavering. Because I don't fight alone. In that moment, the real battle began, not just of strength, but of will, of breaking curses with unbreakable spirit. The unseen war between a hero's resolve and a puppetmaster's malice raged on, the outcome still shrouded in the smoke of conflict. The air crackled with tension as Naruto skidded to a halt, his sandals grinding against the dusty earth. Across the clearing, the puppetmaster's fingers twitched, sending a wave of chakra through the strings controlling his monstrous marionette, a grotesque amalgamation of wood and steel, its hollow eyes gleaming with malevolence. The battle had already left the forest in ruins, shattered trees and craters littering the ground. Naruto wiped sweat from his brow, his breath steady despite the fatigue creeping into his muscles. The puppet lunged, its bladed limb slicing through the air with deadly precision. Naruto barely dodged, rolling beneath the strike before springing upward, kunai flashing in his grip. Metal clashed against wood as he parried a follow-up attack, but the puppet twisted unnaturally, its elbow joint bending backward to deliver a crushing blow to his ribs. Pain flared through his side, but he gritted his teeth, channeling Kurama's chakra. Orange energy erupted around him, his wounds knitting together as his speed doubled. The Puppetmaster sneered, his fingers dancing faster. "You can't outlast me, boy. My curse seals ensure my puppet never tires, unlike you." Naruto didn't respond. Instead, he feinted left before vanishing in a burst of speed, reappearing above the puppet in a spinning kick. The impact sent it crashing into the ground, but before he could press the advantage, a hidden compartment in its chest burst open, releasing a cloud of poison needles. Naruto twisted midair, summoning a shadow clone to take the brunt of the attack. The clone dissolved into smoke as he landed, already forming hand signs. Wind style, Rasengan Shuriken. The spiraling sphere of compressed wind screeched as he hurled it, carving through the puppet's arm in a shower of splinters. But the Puppetmaster only laughed. With a flick of his wrist, the severed limb reattached itself, threads of cursed chakra stitching it back together. "You'll have to do better than that." Naruto's mind raced. "This thing regenerates. I need to take out the source." His gaze flicked to the Puppetmaster's hands, those strings were the key. But closing the distance wouldn't be easy. The puppet surged forward again, its movements more erratic now, limbs elongating like whips. Naruto ducked and weaved, his reflexes pushed to the limit. One misstep, and those blades would tear him apart. He needed a new strategy. Fine. If brute force won't work. He formed a dozen shadow clones, each charging from different angles. The puppet spun, cleaving through them with brutal efficiency, but Naruto used the distraction to slip behind it. His hands blurred through signs. Summoning jutsu. With a thunderous crash, Gamakichi appeared, his massive form shaking the earth. "Whoa, talk about a party." The toad croaked. "Cover me," Naruto shouted, already leaping onto Gamakichi's back. The puppet lunged, but the toad intercepted it, his tongue lashing out like a whip, tangling around its torso. For a moment, the construct struggled, its movements sluggish. The Puppetmaster's smirk faltered. Annoying pest. He yanked his strings, and the puppet's back split open, revealing a serrated saw blade that revved to life, slicing through Gamakichi's restraint. The toad yelped, retreating as Naruto jumped clear. Time was running out. Naruto could feel his chakra draining, but he refused to back down. One last shot. He channeled every ounce of Kurama's energy, his pupils slitting as crimson chakra engulfed him. The ground beneath him cracked from the sheer pressure. The Puppetmaster's eyes widened. "Impossible, you're still standing?" Naruto shot forward, a blur of orange and red. The puppet swung, but he was faster now, weaving between its strikes like a storm. His fist connected with its chest, shattering the cursed core hidden within. The puppet convulsed, its limbs seizing before collapsing into a lifeless heap. The Puppetmaster staggered, his strings snapping. "No. My masterpiece." Naruto didn't give him time to recover. In an instant, he was inches from the man's face, Rasengan buzzing in his palm. "It's over." The Puppetmaster's lips curled into a grim smile. "You think so?" Suddenly, black markings spiraled up his arms, the curse seal activating. His body contorted, bones cracking as dark energy consumed him. "Now. You face me." Naruto braced himself as the true battle began. The air crackled with tension as Naruto stood across from the Puppetmaster, his breath ragged, his orange jacket torn from countless near-fatal strikes. The battlefield was littered with shattered puppets, their splintered limbs still twitching as if refusing to accept defeat. The Puppetmaster's mask hid his expression, but his voice dripped with cold amusement. "You're persistent, I'll give you that. But persistence won't save you from my curse." Naruto wiped blood from his lip, his blue eyes burning with defiance. "I don't care about your curses. I'll break through them, just like I break through everything." With a flick of the Puppetmaster's wrist, the last of his puppets lunged, blades glinting with poisoned edges. Naruto twisted midair, barely avoiding a slash that would have severed his arm, but the puppet's knee slammed into his ribs, sending him skidding across the ground. Gritting his teeth, he forced himself up, his muscles screaming. He couldn't keep this up forever, his chakra was draining fast, and the Puppetmaster hadn't even moved from his spot. Then, a whisper in his mind, Kurama's growl. "You're being reckless, idiot. Let me handle this." Naruto's fingers twitched. He didn't want to rely on the Nine Tails, not when he was so close to proving he could do this on his own. But the Puppetmaster wasn't just strong, he was methodical, his attacks designed to wear Naruto down until there was nothing left. A blade grazed his shoulder, and Naruto hissed as the poison seared through his veins. His vision blurred. No, he couldn't afford to hesitate now. With a roar, he summoned the last of his strength, slamming his palm into the puppet's chest. Rasengan. The spiraling energy tore through its core, reducing it to scrap metal. But even as it collapsed, the Puppetmaster chuckled. "You think that's all? My curse isn't just in my puppets, it's in you now." Naruto's breath hitched as dark veins spread from his wound. His body grew heavy, his movement sluggish. The Puppetmaster stepped forward, finally engaging directly. "You fought well, but this is where your story ends." His hand shot out, aiming for Naruto's throat. A flash of orange. Naruto's eyes blazed red as Kurama's chakra erupted around him, swatting the Puppetmaster back like a ragdoll. The curse's spread halted, burned away by the fox's power. Naruto gasped, his mind clearing. "Took you long enough," he muttered. Kurama scoffed. "Don't get used to it." Now, it was Naruto's turn. His body moved faster than thought, his fist connecting with the Puppetmaster's mask, cracking it down the middle. The man staggered, his composure shattered for the first time. Impossible. Naruto didn't give him time to recover. He weaved hand signs, his voice fierce. Shadow clone jutsu. Dozens of copies materialized, surrounding the Puppetmaster in a whirlwind of attacks. Blow after blow landed, each one chipping away at the man's defenses. But the Puppetmaster wasn't done yet. With a snarl, he unleashed his final technique, a curse seal that erupted from his body, tendrils of dark energy lashing out like living chains. Naruto's clones vanished in bursts of smoke as the curse wrapped around him, squeezing the air from his lungs. His vision darkened. He could hear Kurama's distant growl, feel his own heartbeat slowing. But then, memories flashed. Irika's smile. Sasuke's rivalry. Sakura's determination. The village that believed in him. His promise to never give up. No way. I'm losing here. With a surge of willpower, Naruto's chakra exploded, golden and radiant. The curse shattered like glass. The Puppetmaster's eyes widened behind his broken mask. This power. Naruto didn't answer. He was already in motion, his fist encased in swirling wind. Rasen Shuriken. The technique screamed through the air, striking the Puppetmaster dead center. For a moment, there was silence. Then, light. The explosion tore through the battlefield, leaving nothing but a crater in its wake. When the dust settled, Naruto stood alone, his body aching but his spirit unbroken. The Puppetmaster lay motionless, his mask completely destroyed, revealing a face twisted with disbelief. "You really are." His voice faded as his consciousness slipped away. Naruto exhaled, his transformation flickering out. He'd done it. He'd won. But as he turned to leave, he felt the weight of what this meant. The Puppetmaster's curse had been a weapon meant to control nations. Now, with him defeated, the balance of power would shift. Alliances would crumble. New threats would rise. But Naruto grinned despite the pain. Let them come. He'd face them all. Because that's what he did. That's who he was. As the sun set behind him, casting long shadows over the ruined battlefield, a single thought echoed in his mind: the fight was over. But his story? That was just beginning.